what is it? The rundown. But this thing that we have, the thing that we're going to talk about later, I'm like, I can tell you now that is going to be my highest liability of the weekend.
Oh God.
And I've already texted Sean Green about it being a pleaser leg versus a teaser leg. Pleaser leg is when you
right. You do the other one,
right. Which is like which is plus 300. We'll talk about it. But for those, I gotta do the retweet so people know that we're on. But you are watching. This is the NFL edition of Dad's Bet Baseball and Football. I am one of your hosts, Adam Rosenberg, aka Berg. I don't know why I did that way. I'm so used to introducing you. But with me, as always, is my co-host CJ Buskey, aka Slippin' Jimmy. Dad's That Bet. CJ, have my Phillies put the finishing touches on a Mets sweep?
Oh my God. Why am I even wearing a Mets shirt right now? I don't know. I feel like most Mets fans are like rooting for this team. Like it's like hate watching now. Like they're just rooting for this team to miss the playoffs rather than actually do anything. But we're not talking baseball tonight. We're talking.
No, we're not. We're not. We have a big baseball show coming up Monday. Big victory lap show coming Monday. When you and I tallied up all of our player futures, and I was like, "Yo, dude, we are big Matt Chapman fans."
Tune for us to go through a spreadsheet to see how much money we made. That's
right. And if you never watched or listened to the podcast between now and like March, none of it will have context for you. So all right. What do we start with? What are we going with? Are we going to do our Hall of Fame bet segment? One
Let's
of our
do
friends,
it.
our sponsor, the pod.
I got a prop.
Well, I'll let you drive. Let me do my ad read in my head.
Let's do it.
Hall of Fame Bets, as you guys know, I don't know if this is your first time joining us, but Hall of Fame Bets is a sponsor of the show. Absolutely preferred insights platform for us. We use it every day. We're going to be using it right now. We're going to use it to find a couple bets. HOFapp.com, incredibly deep. One of the things that CJ and I really like about it is that they tend to have a lot of the game lines faster than everybody else. So it's really, really good for looking at openers and being able to map it to some research. We'll show you a couple cool tips and tricks, but HOFapp.com, use code DADS. You get 50% off that first month. It is awesome. As I said, for NFL, it's also for all the sports. But it's great for NFL. You can build parlays with it too. It's pretty tight. I've been very impressed with the platform. Shout out to Brian and team. So we are grateful for them being our pod sponsor. And with that, CJ, if you are listening, it's a pie graph on a radio show segment right now. But if you are watching, you totally can see that we have Hall of Fame bets up. We're going to look at some stuff for tomorrow. We're going to look at some stuff for tomorrow and for this weekend. CJ, are you driving or am I driving? What's going on here? What do we want to do?
I'll drive this one because I'll kick off, and I got a prop that I wanted to highlight here.
Show me.
I think you're gonna like this one. So for me, I'm looking here. Thing I usually do like earlier in the week on Hall of Fame bets is I'm trying to see, all right, who are guys that's got good matchup grade, okay, and then you can do the reverse if you want to do like an under. So I'm looking for a good matchup grade, a over in this case. And then I'm going to try and do like the odds for something that's like a little bit more plus money right here. And then I'll just do a couple of like different stats, like pass yards, TDs, rush yards, longest rush. So a couple of these ones right here that I'm going to be looking for like overs on receptions. And then I start to see like, okay, so what are the ones that have got really good matchups? And then based on the hit rate, you're going to have a pretty significant edge. The one thing that I will call out, especially when you're doing this early in the season, if you're using hit rates for trends, a lot of guys, like, they're going to have hit rates that are great for the previous year, and then their situation's totally changed, right? Like,
or it includes the playoffs, which you can flip it back and forth to not include and stuff like that.
Right. But for example, like Cooper Kupp. Okay, Cooper Kupp's situation has dramatically changed from last year to this year. He's not that good anymore. So that's another big thing to consider.
Lukewarm take.
That's not a hot take.
I don't think it's hot. It's lukewarm. It's baby bath water warm. It's fine.
one of the lowest separation rates in the league last year. It's been a while coming. But the one
by
that
the way,
stuck
so
out to
breaking
me,
news.
though,
Wait, breaking news. We got breaking news.
oh.
We need to get a soundboard for this, but breaking news. Paul Skeens is not going to get a win tonight. Christopher Sanchez is. For those of you that think that the NL Cy Young is over, Christopher Sanchez is going to move to 13 and whatever, and Paul Sanchez will remain under 500 because the Orioles tied the game.
Paul Sanchez.
Paul Skeens. Anyway, go back to it.
Paul Sanchez. Damn it! Now I want to go look at the.
I know. Sorry, it just popped up on my screen, and I was just very happy about it. So,
hey, the one player that can totally nuke the football show for us. It is the chosen one there, and Mr.
Christopher Sanchez.
All right, here's the guy Adam on this weekend.
Ooh, James. I like this a lot.
Okay, so over rush yards. So you've got. I mean, this one, if you want to get real crazy, it's 99.5. To get over, where did I see that? Let me get off this filter. 99.5, you can get that at plus 450 at ESPN Bet. However, price. That's a great price.
That's a sick price for an RB1.
An RB1, and again, this is the big thing for me, right? Like, I know that Connor is like, people are going to look and go, 39 rushing yards last week. Trey Benson looked great. Fantasy community has been kind of, slobbing on Trey Benson's knob for a while now in terms of like trying to replace Connor. Look, James Conner is still good. He's healthy.
He also signed an extension. He signed an extension this offseason. Yes. He had 1,000 yards last year. He had 1,100 yards last year. Like,
but Adam,
what are people talking about?
Here's the biggest thing. Look who he's playing this week. It is the worst rush defense in the league, and it's not even close. It's Carolina. Yeah. Look at those rushing yards. The rushing yards high. They have allowed RB1 or RB2. They've allowed at least one running back on the opposing team to get over at least 100 yards in how many of this consecutive now? I think this is
looks like 8.
3, 4, 5, 6, 8 consecutive. I love this one, man. James Conner,
I like it
80
a lot.
Plus rushing yards if you want to get a little bit more conservative, but 450 for 100 plus. I like that one.
I like it.
Maybe we throw that into the parlay later. But.
The parlay later. I gave a future guest of the pod in 10 minutes. Shawn Hardie, one of my oldest and closest friends, is going to be on. He's like, "Do I need anything?" I said, "We're going to do a fun parlay because we're starting to do that." I like this and an adjacent bet that you can actually research on Hall of Fame bets. It's under the leaders. Total rushing TDs in a game.
Okay.
Which I would look to take an alt on Arizona because of this. Usually it's around 1.5.
Okay.
It's probably not up yet. It'll be up later this week. But you could also look at the hit rate on it just now.
Yeah, I was trying to go look at it.
You can take it. I know they have it on ESPN. TDs. I know they have it on ESPN. It was a really creative way that I played Derrick Henry last year.
I like that one. I like that one a lot. Yeah. Rushing TDs. Yeah, it looks like Arizona is like fine.
Well, I mean, but if you're getting 100 yards, if you're getting 80 yards, you're going to score one of them. And Kyler's been running more too. And you're talking about a defense that just gets eaten on the ground.
Yeah, I mean, this defense stinks, and they also, I believe, had some other injuries that made could be even worse on Carolina's defense. So I like that one too. I wonder what the plus. It's probably going to be plus money if it's 1.5.
It'll probably be plus money.
You got Kyler, Connor, and Benson there. All that could
be fun. You could parlay all three of them. I see Gio in the chat, who's Tampa resident, who did come in here and give out Emeka in the chat last week, saying the offensive rookie of the year. You did. Some of us who are shout out to Bookie Paul, who all of us are on, for hanging 32 to 1 odds. He will honor it. He has said that. But that was way off market, and a lot of us took that. So yeah, it's shout out to that. And anyway, yeah, he's there's a lot of overreaction. So this is overreaction and reaction week, given that it's only going to be week 2 for NFL.
You probably, by the way, you probably got some good equity on at Buka too. Like if you want to hold on to that for a few weeks and then cash out, it's not necessarily the worst thing because they will get gotten back.
So. Always remember, rookie of the year markets are reactive, not predictive. Well, awards markets are reactive, not predictive.
Yeah, no more than baseball's rookie of the year. Yeah.
No more than baseball. Okay. So
Right.
based
what
on
do you got? You got something for tomorrow?
Okay, so I have something for tomorrow, but I'm just in case people are listening to the day of, I'm gonna give it out, but I have a better one for the weekend in case people listen to Friday. Look, I really like Bobby. You can look at it in this. I will share my screen.
Go for
1 second, guys. So much of the show is us playing on our computers, but it's fine. Let's see. All right, so can you see me? You can. Yes.
Yeah.
Can you see me?
I can see it.
I don't know, Spencer. Producer Spencer. There we go. Okay.
Screen's up.
Cool. Hold on. Let me make it there.
Don't worry. Anytime we have this kind of stuff, just remind yourself it's not deep. That's what I tell myself.
I mean, Spencer takes care of everything. Okay, so spoiler alert, I'm gonna have a play for the weekend that's gonna involve Joe Burrow. But here's the thing. Commanders playing the Packers. One of the things I looked at, short weeks, teams tend to lean a little bit more into their running games, especially on Thursday games, limited practices. It takes a little bit of the load off of schemes and a lot of the route running. But one of the guys who I thought was a wagon last year for this prop, who is on the Commanders, is Bobby Wagner, who is having his third renaissance now. So Bobby Wagner, his tackles and assists is at we had it at, what was it? It was 9 or something. Tackles and assists. Let's do it. There it is. Okay, cool. So we actually took it on open because I got greedy, but it's 112, as you can see here on DraftKings. And one of the things that I did to decide, hey, I really wanted this, I'm assuming that they're going to be running it a lot. I think that Jacobs is going to get 20 carries. And if he gets 20 carries, Bobby Wagner is arguably the most athletic linebacker in there that's going to do stuff. Payne's down in the middle, so it doesn't really matter. But what you're able to do
not saying much for that defense, but yeah.
It's not saying much for that defense. But what I did was I moved it to where Green Bay is on an offensive rank, which is I would put them in the top 25 percentile. So does Hall of Fame Bets. You can see here, if you want to talk about hit rates, this is how he has historically done over the last season, which was with this team. Pretty solid floor on this one. So he didn't hit it last week. It was obviously a very different game script. I think it's going to be a little bit more competitive game here. Also, Packers at home. They'll probably, if they are winning, they're going to want to ice that a little bit. They're not going to throw some things through the air, even though you can beat up on that secondary like that for different reasons. But just wanted to show within Hall of Fame Bets, this is a real quick thing to do, is to mess around with opponent offensive rank. You can like Jordan Love. You can hate Jordan Love. I know that our guest has some opinions about Jordan Love and 3 letters that we'll talk about later. But when you are able to filter it to what percentile this team is in, which the Packers are definitely a top quarter percentile offensive team, you can just see that this is the kind of stuff that Bobby Wagner kind of feasts on within tackles and assists. So defensive props are a good one. That said, the play that I'm going to like, very similar to yours. I like Joe Burrow over the longest. I don't know why I got a private chat that says ass, but all right. I'm looking at our studio chat and I don't know what it means. So okay, so Bengals are playing the Jags. Jags have a crazy pass rush. The Bengals have an awful offensive line. Joe Burrow doesn't do a lot of designed runs, but I did some research and I was looking, and he does 55% of his runs last year for scrambles. He doesn't actually do a lot of designed runs, but he also, again, has a bad offensive line. So I'm expecting him to have to take off at least once or twice. I went through off of stats. I found Joe Burrow. I do rush yards. I'm looking for his longest rush. It is, I know this from looking earlier, it is 5.
Oh, wait, he is, scroll down. Okay, you're going to scroll down there. I was going to say, I was like, he's right. Well, so here's the deal. So here's the thing is that I think if you think the Bengals win this game, his rush, it's a little bit better than his rush yards, in my opinion. If you think he wins this game and he doesn't have to take off a lot, then, or even if he does, you lose those yards on the kneel down. You don't want to deal with that. But to get to those yards, for him to have a big game where he's going to have to avoid, Josh Allen Hines, if he's got to avoid some of these guys and this very underrated pass rush, he's going to at least have one run of 6. His scramble yards per carry last year was 9.5,
which I thought was pretty high. And then most importantly, when you look at this Jags team, you just showed this, but look at the Jags team against quarterbacks. Aiden O'Connell even had a longest rush that was over 5.5 here. 5.5 is just simply too low for a team that does not have a good offensive line that is going against a good pass rush. You can see that only 2 quarterbacks did not hit this last year, them being Will Levis and then the guy Lead Feet, who's going to be discussed in a little bit, but that being Jordan Love. That is why my play is going to be Joe Burrow over 5.5 longest rush. And now we're going to talk about. What are we going to talk about?
I was going to just say real quick on that. Like you already made the point, but longest rush, especially for quarterbacks, is a lot of the time again, if you have rushing yards for like Lamar, like the guys that are running the ball, Josh Allen, okay, that's different. But longest rush for the guys that are not running a lot, I'm with you. I personally would rather take that prop than just the rushing yards because you have to worry about the kneel downs. Like that is a real thing you've got to think about towards the end of games. And also if they're losing, you could have situations where the quarterback is trying to scramble and then he loses yards. So
yep, all the time.
Happen too. All right, so here's one thing. So we got 2 props.
Okay,
let's talk about we did this last week. So this is kind of like, putting our dick on the table and telling everybody which we think is like just it's not a quote lock, but this is the game that you are feeling the most spicy about. That's right. Thump it onto the table, Shawn. What game is sticking out to you for this weekend that you feel like I'm putting a large percentage of
you don't want to tie this to your original question to tee it off, because I thought it was a great question about which team
do we think sucks after week 1?
So a lot of people would say that I'll tell you, a lot of people think the Miami Dolphins suck, and the Miami Dolphins might suck, but the Miami Dolphins do not suck at home against the Patriots of New England. In fact, the Miami Dolphins, who I bet this. You were so
amped for this.
I know. I called Shawn and then I called you. I was so excited about this. So the Miami Dolphins are 43-17 lifetime at home against the Patriots. They are laying 1.5. I've already texted Sean Green to say I want this as a pleaser leg, which means I want them by 7 to win by 7. The Patriots have not won in Miami since 2019. They are 2-10 since 2012. The average margin of victory, I wrote this down. Yeah. So Pats are 2-10 in Miami since 2012, 17-43 lifetime there. The average margin of victory in Miami's 5 straight wins that they have there is 15. 41% of the Pats wins lifetime. 7 of these 17 wins came between 2003 and 2012 when a young man named Michael Thomas Brady II, I don't actually think his first name is Michael, but I just wanted to say it that way, that when he was a quarterback and he was in the prime of his career. So you guys have both heard this bit already in the last 20 minutes, but this is week 2 is the only time you only get one shot to buy at the lowest on a team that everyone's going to overreact after week 1. And that is in week 2. And so I'm all in on the Miami Dolphins this week. Look, if the Miami Dolphins don't win, we should find anything we can for them to have the worst record in the league, because all the wheels are going to come off and everything's going to happen then. But if you can't right the ship after everything that happened against the Colts at home against a team that you have dominated for 4 decades in this spot, then you should just quit football.
I mean,
go Fins.
The most telling thing to me, I can't come back at that. It's such a well-structured argument.
I'm just really excited about this play. It's
so good. I feel like that's like the opening remarks in some sort of criminal trial against the Patriots or something. But
it's like my cousin Vinny, my cousin Finny. There it is with the Fins. My cousin Finny.
Oh my God,
that's the name of this episode.
There you go.
It is.
It's my cousin Finny. We're helping we're getting those creative juices flowing for it.
On that team. All right. Yeah.
I mean, it's coming from going down south. I guess not to Alabama, but down to was it Coral Gables is where they're at. Okay, so 2 quick things. One is that line hasn't moved. Okay. Yeah. So that's like a I mean, telltale sign,
kind of
right?
big tell.
Patriots bad in week 1, but they did not look anywhere near as bad as the Dolphins, and that line is not moved. So if there's anything that's like telling me which of those the rest of the sort of betting community or the sharper community probably should be on, it's the one that looked way worse and the line still hasn't moved. Second thing is, would you agree? Okay, question that's going to lead into the one that I feel the most strong about this week, which is Dolphins right now on the look ahead. Okay, against the Bills, week 3 they're +10. Dolphins win this week. Does that still stay +10? This is at Buffalo week 3.
Well, I think it depends on a couple things because I have Dolphins. I'm taking Dolphins and Survivor, and the second option that I had on this was the game that is after that. Okay, which is the Dolphins because I'm gonna get to it. I'm gonna give it to you. I'm gonna give you the ball. Don't worry.
Okay.
I'm gonna give you the rock. They are hosting the team that the Bills are playing next week. That I think this week has a fishy line, and they're laying a ton of points in that look ahead. So for me, when I was talking about if I'm taking the Dolphins this week, am I taking them or I take them in 2 weeks? I just think some things are going to happen this weekend that are going to shorten those lines across the board. I will let you reveal who this team is because if people haven't figured it out because they don't know it, but it is your.
No, we played on the same team long enough. I know you're not Dion Waiters here trying to get a heat check and just hold on to the ball. But
there are 2 Syracuse people that are in this pod right now. So like, do not take Dion Waiters' name in vain. Just because you can't start doesn't mean you can't finish. All right, so keep going.
I liked him when he was on Cleveland for what it's worth. But
I love Waiters Island.
All right, I'm slamming mine on the table here. It's Jets money line. Okay, plus 260. And okay, there are a couple reasons for this one. One is Josh Allen lifetime at New York, 6-3. All right, so that's straight up 6-3. Not that that's like, in fact, not necessarily bad for Josh Allen, but remember the quarterbacks that he has played in those games, including Zach Wilson. I believe he lost to twice at the Meadowlands, and so straight up wise 6-3. Here's really the bigger thing for me. If we're thinking about teams from week 1 that we at least had to probably make some adjustment to the prior, number 1 for me, other than the Dolphins probably downgrading them more, was I thought Fields looked awesome against the Steelers.
200 yards passing was 2-1. We loved that play. That was great.
But when I was checking PFF to kind of see the grades on what he looked like in comparison, 3rd highest rated quarterback for the entire week. And it matched what I was watching. Like he was making 2nd and 3rd reads. The Jets kind of designed the offense to just let him do what he does best. He could scramble out of stuff. That team also has actual skill position players. They've got Breece Hall, Garrett Wilson, who I think is great. And that line opened at 8.5. And the Bills, again, coming off a win against the Ravens, who we probably think is arguably the best team in the league. We'll talk about that with Shawn, but that was 8.5. It's down to 6.5. I wouldn't take 6.5 personally with the Jets now. Like if I would have rather have gotten them at 7 if I was taking the spread, but give me plus 260 on that money line. Cause this to me, like it just kind of lines up. It's like, if the Jets offense looks this good again, I think that we probably need to adjust like how we look at that team going forward. And if that defense
is that a look ahead,
better, yeah.
Who's that a look at? So who do the Bills play after? So it's a letdown spot after the Ravens, but they played. Who do the Bills play after?
After the Jets?
Yeah.
Dolphins. That's
and then the Jets do. Oh, so all of them match each other. Oh, good call. All right. Yep. So it is a sandwich spot.
Sandwich spot. And like I said, I wasn't really changing my opinion on the Steelers as it was. Note that I said that they have an excellent special teams, and that came through in week 1. But yeah, plus 260 on the Jets. I just think like if you're looking for a good underdog and a fun money line to play this weekend, it's a good spot for them. So
there you go.
That's where I'd be headed, man.
I like it. It's one of my circa entries. I have Bills last unbeaten team in pocket at plus 650. So I hope
by the way, what a miracle ticket that is.
Yeah, I got to take Shawn out to dinner if that cashes. We should probably just go ahead, just bring him in and just start talking about his teams and stuff but that was, I mean, we don't need it. We don't need to dance around it. It's been a week for Shawn. Let's bring Shawn in. Let's just do it. Shawn Hardie, Shawn Julius Hardie.
Hello. On Sunday night. So ironically, I was in Jamaica on Sunday night for a wedding, and the wedding was on Saturday. Watched obviously whatever, and then Sunday was watching the game. Was at dinner, watching on my phone, whatever, and obviously we saw what happened. If my wife's cousin wasn't getting married that weekend, the amount of money I would have spent, because I would have been in Ralph Wilson Stadium watching that shit in person live, because I was like, I want to go hang out with Bill's Mafia. It's the last year of the Ralph, whatever. I want to go. I reached out to John Bocchino. I was like,
Bocchino's got the hookup.
Yeah, because he's a season ticket holder, went to Syracuse, known him for God knows how long. But because I thought the wedding was Labor Day weekend, because it's the first week of September, but not, I was like, oh man, I'm gonna miss it. And if it wasn't for that, you would have seen me on the news, because I, in Jamaica, crashed out. Like, I have not crashed out a sporting event for a long time. Me. I called Berg and I said, what in the actual, I couldn't believe this. I was also high. And
that's when I said you have to come on the show this week.
So shout out to my cousin-in-law, Brianna, and her new husband, Darian, for planning their wedding on the 6th of September and preventing me from spending real American money to travel to Buffalo to watch that car crash in person. Good evening.
That is how you, by the way, that's
intro of the year candidate for
intro of the year candidate.
My goodness.
So I guess with all that said, because you are, you have Jim Harbaugh and you have John Harbaugh. There was a period of time in our friendship where I know that you have been a stand for both Harbaughs, and now you have enough rope to get one of them from falling off a bridge. Which Harbaugh are you going to save in a cliff situation?
Well, first of all, I don't wish death or harm upon anybody.
It wouldn't be death or harm. It wouldn't be death. There's a pillow. There's a pillow underneath it. There's a pillow.
There
in
we
the
go.
Scenario. Okay.
Oh,
just a scare.
It's just a scaring thing. Yeah.
I'm absolutely saving Jim. Absolutely saving Jim. I have said since the 2023 AFC Championship game, that's when I said that John Harbaugh should be fired. I have realized that he's been on bullshit for years before that. I used to think that John was the better brother, but the better coach, and that Jim was the evil twin, even though I like Jim. But we've seen the stat now, 17 blown double-digit leads in the second halves of games in the last God knows how many years. That doesn't happen to Jim. That happens to John. And the reason why it happens to John is going to inform a pick that I will give involving the Ravens later in the show.
I mean,
or I can do it now. Okay.
No. I mean, bring it on. I mean, so I can't imagine, it feels like what you are going through with John is similar to the end of the era of Andy Reid. Ironically, he was Andy Reid's special teams coach. It feels like the end of the era with how it felt with Andy Reid with the Eagles but with us, it was, this guy is so incredible in first quarter scripted plays and has no idea how to manage a clock and has no idea how to do, why did he call timeout at 2:01? It would left in a half. Why would you do that? And that is what it feels like. Feels like you guys are in the Andy Reid 2010 era. So
I mean, Shawn, I'm a resident Pittsburgh Steeler fan here. I mean, I feel the exact same way about Mike Tomlin. It's just the problem is he's actually behind double digits in so many fourth quarters that he can't actually have a stat to say that he's blown enough of those games. But I think weirdly, all of the coaches in the AFC North kind of have this issue in some way. And I almost think every single team in the AFC North probably would be happy with a different coach.
Yeah. Although actually, I think Cleveland. I think Stefanski's good.
I think
just think
Stefanski does a
Cleveland
lot. Yeah.
I think no. I
Talk
think
to Browns fans. They did not feel that.
Really?
best-
Maybe they can't read. I don't know.
The best quarterback they've had in the Stefanski era. They threw him over the side of the boat for the $250 million massage man.
Also
and
true.
now that guy is
Sixth best. Yeah.
That guy is like an MVP candidate, MVP dark horse in Tampa Bay. So like I just feel like
Also true.
it's Cleveland. But like to your point, like I'll put it like this way. Zach Taylor is he's awful. Like he's terrible. He's clearly the worst coach in the division. Him and Harbaugh have the same thing in common, whereas this generational quarterback has come in and saved their jobs because both Burrow, and even though I'm a Ravens fan, I love Joe Burrow, both Burrow and Lamar Jackson cover up a lot of the stink that is caused by their head coaches. It's
wild to me that the proof point on that is if you want to just like market wise, Burrow like 6-1 MVP. Bengals are 9-1 to win the AFC, and Zach Taylor is 35-1 to be coach of the year, which basically is saying that this guy is so lucky that he has the people that he has in front of him. I don't think you could really argue that Zach Taylor doesn't really.
They're basically telling you like
Zach Taylor came into the season.
Go ahead.
Yeah, Zach Taylor came into the season was like one of the top 5 most likely for coaches to be fired. I think in that market too.
Yeah,
he was like 4th or 5th. Yeah.
That line is telling you that if the Bengals somehow go 13-4, it has absolutely nothing to do with him. It's Joe Burrow.
Yeah. Nope, that's exactly it. So, okay, one of the big reasons I wanted to have you on here we could talk a little Ravens in a second, but there's a very sharp thing that you do, and you talk about it in our Discord and in general, is that you look at how MVP voting works in season and you think of it in a really unique way. And I want you to talk about it because we just had the first game of the season had the matchup between the last 2 MVPs. And so if you had no bets on MVP right now, how would you approach? First of all, I want to know who are 3 guys you think can actually win it. And second, I want to know how you approach it based on in-game and the rest of the season.
So funny thing is, I think there are like realistically there's like 5 or 6 guys that can win it.
Okay. All right.
But
they're all quarterbacks, I assume.
Yeah, yes. So okay, here's the first rule.
Yeah.
This is a quarterback award. All right. So stop betting Saquon Barkley and stop not use or like
no, I know.
Yeah. Like, listen, I researched this basically since I've been alive and I'm 44 years old. A running back has won this award, I think, like 8 times. The last 5 times it's been like the last time this happened was 2012 with Adrian Peterson. Before that, LaDainian Tomlinson in 06, Shawn Alexander 05.
Sean Alexander, right? Yeah, I remember that one.
Marshall Faulk 04, Terrell Davis 98. And these guys had like amazing seasons. Like Adrian Peterson ran for 2,100 yards. LaDainian Tomlinson had 31 touchdowns. Shawn Alexander had 28 touchdowns. Like Marshall Faulk had 2,100 yards from scrimmage, right? Like by the way, did quarterbacks win I wonder if quarterbacks won the OPOY those years. That's actually a good thing to look into.
I bet you they probably did.
So like even like last year, Saquon ran for 2,000 something and he finished 3rd. Derrick Henry ran for 1,900 yards and he didn't even get a first place vote. He got less votes than Sam Darnold. So first of all, this is a quarterback award. Don't let them dangle any of these running backs or Justin Jefferson or Jamar Chase. No, stop. Now, do I believe it should be a quarterback award? No, but that's what the voters are telling you. Now, with that being said, how do I look at MVP? Me and Adam go back and forth about this all the time. Like you said during the show, MVP and awards are more reactive and proactive.
Yeah,
and they
predictive.
Predictive, and they're also super narrative driven.
Yeah.
So it's like, and the story I
Yes.
give, and the story that I give, which is when I first started thinking about this, was in the 2019 season, going to week 9, the 6-2, 6-1, both whatever. The Ravens were hosting the Patriots at home, and my friend and Adam's friend Allie Campbell, he was texting me back and forth. He says, "I want to bet Lamar Jackson at 6-1 to win MVP," and I'm like, and I said to him, if you think they're going to beat New England, bet this now, because if they beat New England, you're never getting another price. And I didn't know shit about markets and gambling, whatever. But I was like, if they beat the Tom Brady, Bill Belichick Patriots on Sunday nights, 6-1 is gone. And I didn't bet it because I thought we were going to lose the game. He didn't bet it. They won 37-20. They've finished 14-2, won MVP, and he and every week during football season, he'd be talking about Lamar, and I'll just text him 6-1 because it was right there. And what I've always learned from Rosenberg, go ahead, CJ.
I was gonna say this happened again too, by the way, with Lamar just a few years ago with the Purdy game on Christmas, because I think he was like plus 350 prior to that game to win MVP, and Purdy was like, I think plus 200 or plus 250.
That was the weekend I told you guys. I said,
game.
take the Ravens 1 seed now, because that game
I was like, don't bet Ravens money line, don't bet them spread, just bet Lamar MVP, because if you think they're going to win, like, there's no way they're going to play Christmas Day on a Monday night, and if the Ravens look good, Lamar's not winning this one.
Yes, exactly. Yeah.
And they trashed them.
They beat their ass. That's the Mike Florio game where he said the Ravens were going to get destroyed. If you want to see something funny, because Mike Florio said the Niners were going to destroy the Ravens, and the after that game, the Ravens had this thing called the dub cam, where they have like a camera when the players are coming back.
Sure.
And then literally, so the players like, yeah, big dog, Christmas Day, da da da. And Lamar Jackson just walks up to the camera and says, "Mike Flores, what up?"
Oh, nice. That's so
like,
good.
Yeah, I was like, whatever. Anyway, so I say all that to say, narrative driven, storyline driven, like the press, because the press votes on these things, and they're reactive, and they start asking questions like, how come this guy's never won this award? Or, hey, that's a really big win. Maybe he should be like, I think that's what happened to Matt Ryan in 2012. All of a sudden, week 15, it's like Matt Ryan's MVP. I'm like, okay. Which also means, which also one thing I look for is that MVP is never decided before week 9. So, like, either you're gonna bet pre-flop before the season starts, or you're just gonna wait, unless you see, like, okay, if this team is 7-2, or they go and win this game on on Monday night or Sunday night, or whatever, there you go. So here are the guys that I actually, because I'm old, I printed shit out.
No, that's good. I'm old, so I haven't replaced the cartridge behind me.
Yeah.
My wife keeps telling me to do. So no one will get paper. No.
So there are 2 guys. Do not bet $1 on MVP at this point. Well, Josh Allen and Lamar Jackson. Don't, because they're like plus 300. Unless you really believe they're going to win. Well, you should have bet Josh Allen last week.
He was like
should have bet it prior to the game.
Yes, but even like Lamar,
there you go. It proves the point. Don't buy it high.
So by the way, CJ, when you said you had the Ravens as the 1 seed, you bet the Ravens to win the 1 seed because it's like if they win this game, whatever.
Right.
I bet it, but I didn't want to bet it because I thought they'd lose the game. Not like that, but that's just my Ravens PTSD. But I seriously thought about betting Bills for the 1 seed, like as an emotional hedge, but whatever. So, like, we're not looking at Lamar, we're not looking at Josh Allen, because they are, if we look at, let's use DraftKings, they're plus 320, plus 370, whatever. So here are the guys. I wrote down 1, 2, 3, 4. I wrote down 6 names.
Okay.
Joe Burrow, Patrick Mahomes, Jordan Love, Justin Herbert, Jalen Hurts, and my dark horse, the Lamar Jackson 2019 Memorial Dark Horse, Michael Penix Jr.
Whoa. Okay.
Wow.
So,
okay.
Hold on. We don't have. Hold on. No, wait. We do not have time to definitely go through all of those.
We're not going to go through all of them.
But I want it. But I want it. So I want to talk about Penix, and I want to talk about Jordan Love. Give me the Penix pitch.
Okay. So I'm trying. What the hell is this? So the funny thing is, pre-flop, I only made 2 bets, and for MVP, and that is Jordan Love and Michael Penix Jr.
Okay.
Jordan Love got to 16-1, and that's because I live in a state where I can't bet on MVP awards.
That price is fine. You're good. That's a great price.
Thank you, New York. Well, no, it was 20-1 the day before.
Okay, and then that's a good price. That's a great price for MVP.
And then Michael Parsons got traded, and it's like fuck. And then whatever. So it dropped to 16-1. Again, about narratives, you just hear all these things about Green Bay might be the 1 seed, they might be the best team in NFC, whatever. And I say to myself, well, if they're the 1 seed, that means Jordan Love took a leap, which means he's probably going to be in MVP conversations. I mean, he plays for a historically glamour franchise, Green Bay Packers. I've already heard I won't say excuses, but last year he was hurt and they were still pretty good, whatever. So it's like, if this team goes 13-4, if this team is the 1 seed, if this team dethrones Detroit in the AFC North, he's going to be top 3 MVP. So just bet it right now. And the other thing to do is, where the hell is this? I got too many windows open. Oh, yeah, here it is. If you look at their schedule, the time to bet them, what did I wrote? I wrote this down. So the buzz will start week 4.
CJ and I, by the way, did this last year about when we were going to bet the Browns for the division. Thank God we didn't do it, but we absolutely put on each other's calendar. I have a calendar reminder from week 6. This is the last time we'll have to bet the Browns if they make a run. And
it's next to the, what does it take, Missouri? There's a Missouri invite on there.
Oh, I have it on both of your calendars. I told both of you guys, and I sent it to a couple other people. Iowa State is a letdown game against TCU the second week in November.
Yes, that's what it was. Iowa State. Yeah.
I'm so sure about this one. Parlay the Yankees to win the AL with that. I'm sure of it. Anyway, keep going.
Yeah. So and in our Discord, Berg, you remember me asking, I was like, hey, what if Green Bay is the 1 seed, what's more likely? Love MVP or LaFleur Coach of the Year? I ended up betting on both anyway, because it could happen, whatever. But the buzz would start because look at Green Bay's schedule. They have Washington, they can beat them. Then they're at Cleveland, 3-0. Then they go to Dallas Sunday night. And now that people realize that Dallas wasn't going to go 3-14, if they beat them and they're 4-0, then the buzz starts bubbling, and then to your point, the number starts dropping. And then the big game, and this also goes for Jalen Hurts, week 10, Philadelphia, Monday night. If they beat Philadelphia on Monday night and they are 8-1, ship it. That's it. I'm not saying that. Well, I mean, anything can happen, but if you believe in Jordan Love, bet it now. After week 4, you're going to lose value. And then after week 10, if they win week 10, Monday, November 10th, that number's gone, period. And right now, I got 16-1. Right now, it's anywhere between 10-1 and 12-1.
Well, and one thing too with that, Shawn, this could also be a bet that what if the NFC North just sucks? What if the Lions are worse? What if the Vikings, okay, cool, they won that game on Monday. I still think JJ McCarthy isn't that good. And what if the Bears? What if Caleb Williams also just stinks? What if Ben Johnson's not actually able to pull this team around? So you could also just maybe not even so much backing Love, but say Packers are still going to get 5 more games against this division. And that schedule is looking a little even easier than it did maybe a little bit.
Yeah. I was telling Berg during the summer, this year I started a new bit of research for NFL teams. I said, someone has to finish last in every division. Who's that team? Because we all want to find the sleepers and everybody's no, someone's going to finish last. And when I went through the NFC North, I could find a reason for 3 of the 4 teams. Green Bay, Detroit lost both their coordinators. The Bears are the Bears. Do I believe in JJ McCarthy? Who does that leave? The Green Bay Packers. So that's that. The other one, Michael Penix. And this is the Lamar Jackson, because I don't want to know what the hell Lamar Jackson was pre-flop in 2019, right? But they win that game. They turn everything around. They go 14-2, whatever. Now, I'm not saying that the Falcons are going to go 14-3. I'm not even saying that the Falcons are going to be great or Penix is that guy, but at 66-1, I think there's value there. And then
second leap, it's second year leap stuff too.
Second year leap. And I looked at their schedule, and their schedule is on paper like, okay, they're at Minnesota next week. Cool, whatever. Because also they play in the NFC South. At Carolina, Washington, Buffalo's going to be hard. At San Francisco, who me and Berg both think are not going to be that good this year. Miami, who, by the way, I have a Miami worst record in the league. I think for this
yeah.
Because I think they stink.
New England,
yes. Yeah. New England, Indianapolis, Carolina, New Orleans, the Jets, Seattle, Tampa, Arizona, LA, New Orleans. Like, not exactly murderer's row. If this team screws around and wins 13 games, and I forget what his number is. I had it somewhere. Okay, it's still actually now you can get it 75-1 or 80-1.
That's great. No, it's got the second year lead things is it's a big deal.
And it's like
they arguably should have won that game. If they didn't have a YouTube kicker, they would have won that game.
And similar to Lamar, Penix started late in his rookie year, looked a little frisky, but that team was too far out of it to make the playoffs. And now he got all the reps and the offseason, whatever. So I'm like, at 66-1 and now 75-1, that's interesting. But
I can take that.
Yeah, but the key is all right. The key is at the end of the day, it's like, okay, if you think this team is going to do well, don't bet them to win the NFC at like plus 900, because if they do well, their quarterback probably kicked ass, and if their quarterback's name isn't Lamar Jackson or Josh Allen, it's good. Like even Mahomes, who everyone loves, is 11-1 right now. Like, why the hell would I bet anything? Why the hell would I bet?
Well, if Mahomes drags a bunch of NPCs to another division and another AFC championship, what are people going to say?
I think Mahomes 11-1 could actually be a bet right now. I think so. I don't think Mahomes even looked that bad in that. I know everybody was obviously all over Herbert, and for good reason. I mean, that's the best game Herbert's probably ever played, but
ever.
I watched that whole game literally ever.
That's literally the best game he's ever played.
I watched the whole game. Mahomes looked to me good. And he doesn't really have a lot of weapons anyways. And again, he's got Philly this week.
3 years ago, the year that Mecole Hardman was their one. I remember texting Shawn. It's against the Chargers. It was when they came back against the Chargers, and he threw this bomb to Mecole Hardman, and it was week 5 or 6, and I texted Shawn and I said, Patrick Mahomes is the MVP because he is dragging people like Mecole Hardman to the promised land, and that is MVP shit.
And Mahomes has a marquee matchup week 9 at Buffalo. And let him drag those NPCs and beat Buffalo again in Buffalo again. Then it starts to turn. You gotta look at these narratives. There are these spots, these big spots. Herbert, real quick. Week 9 against Pittsburgh, week 14 at Kansas City. There's your spots for Herbert. And also the nerd community and the hand holding they have done for Justin Herbert, how it's never his fault. Meanwhile, let Lamar Jackson blow a 27-0 lead against the Jacksonville fucking Jaguars. They would have him arrested and prosecuted for full extent of the law. But that's neither here nor there. They love him. The media loves him. The nerds love him. The analytics love him. If he has a good because if he unseats Patrick Mahomes and everyone's favorite up and coming team, the Denver Broncos, the preseason number 1 seed in the AFC. All right,
I'm all in.
Yeah, but
all in on Bo Nix. Are you a believer? I'm a believer.
I watch college football. I can't believe in Bo Nix like that. But hey, if Herbert, if the Chargers win the division and they're 12 wins. Sure. But I've not bet Herbert because I'm not doing this to myself. But those are the guys that I can see when I think about the spots that they have and the opportunities and the primetime games and the value, whatever. Those are the 7 I'm looking at.
Is football MVP the most narrative-based MVP of the 4 professional sports? Because I'm just thinking about this because, Berg, you and I have talked so much about baseball MVP. And we always do, like, include some sort of, well, there's a little bit of a narrative there with Judge or Ohtani, But to me, I almost kind of think NFL MVP, like, last year, statistically, it's not even close. Go look at Lamar's stats compared to Josh Allen. Like, literally, it's not even a contest between the two. But Allen had the better narrative.
I mean, there the two requirements are you're the quarterback of the 1 or 2 seed of that, and they've kind of made it that, and they also have OPOY. I looked at this stuff too, Shawn, because I think it's just the best way to look at things week to week when someone's like, because you're going to get somebody who's going to say, I like so and so as MVP. I'm like, wait for their marquee game and figure it out. But so my birthday weekend, week 14. There are a number of these spots, in my opinion. There is, as you'd mentioned, there is going to be Herbert against Hurts on national TV on Monday Night Football.
Hurts, so actually, Herbert has Philly, and then he has at Kansas City the next week.
Right, and that weekend, and the Bengals have the Bills, and the Steelers have the Ravens, and then the following week, it's what was it? It's with the Ravens. Where was the Ravens on this one? The Ravens. Yeah, it's Ravens and Bengals. So if you're a Burrow or Lamar guy, your drop dead time is week 14, because if Burrow goes to a road game against the Bills and beats them again, he did it already. Burrow will absolutely be the favorite that weekend. And if Lamar goes over at Cincy and smacks him around, I guarantee Lamar's going to overtake Burrow that weekend in the following one. That's the key weekend there, is that weeks 14 and 15.
Yeah, absolutely.
Cool. All right. Know what we're going to do now? Now we should build a parlay for this weekend, because this was awesome. And we could talk about football forever, and that's why football's great. So, first of all, a shout out. We're going to shout out a whole bunch of things. One, big shout out to HOF Bets for jumping in the chat and modding stuff and being a massive contributor across the board. Gio is awesome. Gio will be with us a ton as we launch hockey within Handigraphs soon at some point. I don't say that to put CJ under pressure as the CEO and CTO, but as the CMO,
I was half expected to be like,
I have to give some
next week.
As the CMO, I got to give a co-founder. I got to give promises to some of our stockholders. And that is, it's on its way. So that is coming. He's great. Really good hockey guy. Go Lightning. And again, a shout out to Hall of Fame Bets. You can use, if you're watching right now, you can use the QR code. DADS is the code. Go figure. 50%. First week's free. 50% off the first month. It's awesome. A lot of stats that we've talked about, you can find in there. All the stuff that we talked about for baseball, you can find in there. Soccer, you can find a lot of fun stuff in there. CJ just showed you today how you can find an alt that is at an absolute ridiculous price. There are other platforms that I will not name by name, but they do not even have alts like that. It's a great way to do it. So, all right. That said, here are the rules that I want to do. We've moved. Well, Shawn is a dad, so he could technically do dad moves with us, but we've pivoted off of dad moves as we've reached episode 40. And we are now, thank you. We are now building some bombs. All right. So here's the only rules that I have for this parlay. It can be whatever you want. It's got to be football related. It's got to be something this weekend, and it's got to be at least even money. Okay. So Shawn, I know that Shawn, you had a prop you liked in the Ravens game, but you might also have something else for the parlay. You want to give both and give CJ a little bit of time to look around something that he might like, and I'll do the same thing. We'll kind of put it all together. CJ can build it also too, because he's
okay. Real quick, 2 things. One, Gio Fitz, to answer your question, has a second-year quarterback ever won MVP. Yes, his name is Lamar Jackson. Number 2, no 9-7 team is winning this award. Like, I'm looking at the last 10 years, and it's like 11 is the minimum. 11 wins is the minimum, and there's only like one 11-win team. Everything is like 12-4 and up. So like, don't give me like some 10-7, 11. Don't give me some 10-17. Like, oh, they could win. And like if you think Joe Burrow's going 10-7, he's not winning MVP. All right. So early I teased about why I am no longer a fan of John Harbaugh and his issues. And one of John Harbaugh's issues with these blown leads is that he gets very, very conservative with a decent lead. Which shies away from what they used to do in 2023, 22, when he used to go for the whole time on fourth down. They play super conservative defenses. They play they play very conservative. They just want to run the ball 3 times. They give teams opportunities to get back in the game. And of course, poor clock management, whatever, like snapping the ball with 20 seconds on the play clock when you're up 15, whatever. So the bet that I want is, because most people, because John Harbaugh's finally getting slated in the media for his BS, they go in the one day they react. John Harbaugh does not react. He does what he does. So my bet will be the Cleveland Browns plus 2.5 fourth quarter. In the fourth quarter at plus 105. You could probably get, because plus 3.5 is minus 130, which is a lot of juice. You could probably find plus 3 somewhere, like close to even money. But I was taking a look at some research, and the Baltimore Ravens last year, if they had a fourth quarter spread of 3.5, they covered that 3, 4, 5, 6 times out of 19 games last year. Like, they didn't cover in the fourth quarter last year against the Raiders, which they lost, Washington, Tampa. They got scored 21-7 in the fourth quarter by Tampa. Cleveland the first time. That was a Jameis game. Denver, Pittsburgh, Philly, the Giants, the Texans, Pittsburgh again. And then against Buffalo. Like, this team loves to limp across the finish line. They don't run through it. And in the Lamar Jackson era, the Browns have been frisky against the Ravens. Joe Flacco, hold on, I'm trying this again. The Joe Flacco era, we beat the shit out of the Browns all the time. I think Flacco's like 12-1 against them, which is hilarious because he's their quarterback now. But in the Lamar Jackson era, the Browns are frisky. So plus 2.5, plus 3, plus 3.5 fourth quarter, Browns against the Ravens.
All right. He's good at derivatives,
right.
CJ. He knows his thing. I also this is great. By the way, we're putting everybody on the spot. This is gonna be an extended episode because we also are gonna do a fade a quarterback parlay too as part of it, because I forgot about it and it's super exciting. All right. So Browns plus 2.5 fourth quarter. CJ, can you build this? Can you look at it on?
I'm building it right now. Yeah, I got it.
You're building it right now. Okay, cool.
Yeah,
Do you want me to go next?
I have the parlay. So
okay,
sure. Go next. I got it's a plus 105. That's on FanDuel, by the way. If you want.
Okay.
That,
Oh, and by the way, the Browns have covered plus 2.5 in the fourth quarter. Last year, they covered 71% of the time.
That's awesome. So, okay. My Philadelphia Eagles are going to be going to Arrowhead this weekend to beat the crap out of the Chiefs. I don't know if you all noticed. Hollywood Brown, former Raven, posted on Twitter today. Last time we played you, and he posted the Super Bowl from 2 years ago. Somebody commented, bruh, you've been in a coma, which I thought was a hilarious response. My point is this. Dallas Goedert popped up on the injury report today. Dallas Goedert tends to get injured. I jokingly refer to him as a mouth breather. Probably a really nice guy, though. When he is not there, there is a guy on the Eagles who absolutely, 1, torments the Chiefs, and 2, has field days when he doesn't do that, and that's Devonta Smith. Devonta Smith, in games when Dallas Goedert has not played, has scored a touchdown in 4 out of those 6 games. He is currently listed to have a touchdown at 2-1. You may remember him as the guy who caught the dagger that really not only ended that Super Bowl, but cashed every single bet for the 3 of us, because we had Devonta Smith longest reception ladder. We had Eagles alts. We went to the moon on that. And by the way, shout out to Xavier Worthy. We see you. You want us a lot of money. We see you want us a lot of money as well.
She did.
But Devonta Smith at 2-1 in a game. Dallas Goedert popping up with the injury report on Wednesday. I have a feeling he's going to trend out. He tends to get banged up, and he doesn't tend to get better. But Devonta Smith is the one who absolutely benefits when Goddard's out. It's not everyone's going to be on AJ Brown, but 2-1 for him to score the touchdown is the easiest way to play this, in my opinion. I like his alts. He also averages 90 yards a game when Goddard's out, but 2-1 for a anytime TD, and we're going to throw that in against the team that last saw Devonta Smith running past them into the end zone with the dagger, and I think that's going to happen again because I don't think Spags has is in midseason form yet.
That's pretty good. See, this is why you're amazing, because you dig down, like you actually remember. But then again, like that's that.
Oh,
like
God.
you always,
don't make that head any
okay,
bigger.
actually, no, I'll say this. I'll say this. One thing
Right.
Berg does always say is that like you should know your team very well. You know your team better than anyone else. So as long as you don't get emotional and start like throwing stuff like I love whoever and I'm gonna bet, I love Saquon Barkley MVP. It's like, all right, no, like, but if those things that you notice, that's the starting point for a good cap.
Yeah, I mean, I just
Shawn,
like
text me whenever the Steelers have a Thursday night game, and I'll hook you up with a good cap on that.
All right,
what are you gonna say, Bert?
Nothing. I was just gonna say, like, rock and roll. Let's do this. All right,
right now,
CJ, you're part of it.
I got Jahmyr Gibbs over 79.5 rushing yards. Bears rush defense. So this Bears defense has a lot of injuries coming out of Monday. They had injuries coming into Monday. The key point I want to make here is that Gibbs looked really bad against the Packers. I think we probably all could agree Packers probably have a top 5, top 6 defense in the league. And you've got Gibbs who last season, I looked like over that game from last week, he had 9 rushing attempts. So that was tied for a low in the last 2 seasons. He had 9 rushing attempts against the Bears last season, still had 87 yards on 9 attempts in that game, 109 yards in the last time that he played Chicago. And if you go and you look at Chicago's defense just as a whole against running backs, they are almost at 70% of allowing opposing running backs to hit over their rushing line since the beginning of 2024. So Lions also great bounce back spot for them this week as well. So I'm kind of playing into that a little bit. But you can get that 79.5 for, I'm seeing right here, I think it's on DK. And that one is 138, as you can play that right now. So 80 plus rushing yards for plus 138 on DK. And I think this one isn't quite as spicy perk as the parlay we had last week, but I'm looking here at the odds for this, and go and see if you can find that 2.5 for the fourth quarter spread somewhere else, because I'm just trying to play it right now, and it looks like the only book that I can get all 3
They'll probably all be on
right
DK.
now.
They'll probably all be on DK tomorrow.
Yeah, I was going to say, it's like, so yeah, you'll probably get a better price on this tomorrow. If you play the 3.5 for the fourth quarter spread on the Browns, you could do this right now, and you can get that at plus 1163.
That's fun.
That's fun.
So why don't we do this? We won't do the fade QB parlay only because we'll just have you back because we're at the time. But we'll write it all out. We'll do this and then we'll price it out. And we'll put out the slip tomorrow when we have it, because I feel like DK is gonna have good alts and stuff like that for it.
Yeah.
But getting it to 12, getting a 12 to 1, getting a 12 to 1 on this is pretty solid. So good job. Shawn, where can everybody find you?
You can follow me on Twitter at ShawnFW_. The underscore is very important. I will be appearing soon I'm also part of, for my basketball fans, Knicks Film School, in which we are actually doing a top 25 Knicks of the last 25 years, which
I like that one.
If it wasn't for the last 4 years, good God almighty, this would have been a hell of a list. Like, you'd see like Al Harrington up there. And because we have a special episode coming up, our honorable mentions of guys who didn't make the top 25. And me and Jeff will be recording tomorrow. We'll be giving honorable mention to Jeremy Lin.
I was about to say.
Jeff and I will be lighting his ass up. Because
he just retired.
We believe that he does not deserve. This is a sneak preview. 2 good weeks should not make you put you in this list.
Wow. Linsanity was a really fun summer. I was single.
It wasn't summer. It was
or
2
really
weeks
good
like
fall,
February.
whatever.
It was like 2
Yeah,
weeks
fall,
in February.
same thing. You know what it was.
Yeah.
I moved to San Francisco. It was a great time. Didn't care about the world. And Linsanity was a big deal. I loved it.
And you were in San Francisco.
I was. It was great. I had no cares in the world and no money.
That's before you hated their fan base, right?
Yeah, I always hated their fan base. Fair weather fans. You guys should check the injury report. I'm sorry. All right. So this is when you're burning charcoal a couple years before. So all right. This is awesome. Shawn, thanks for coming as always. Producer Spencer, at Spencer_Ray, Ray RAY. You did a knockout job. This is a really, really good episode. We're really getting our flow on football. This is awesome. This is CJ is he's a Slippin' Jimmy, but he's at Dad's That Bet. He's just like never on Twitter, but I'll tag him like a billion times. And yeah. At Hey Rosenberg is me if you want to see me being abrasive, dragging some sort of fan base. So and you can follow us at Dad's Bet Baseball across all the platforms. Like, subscribe. We need 5 more subscribers on Twitch, and I think that they send us a hat. So if you want to do that, but also sign up for Hall of Fame Bets. That keeps the pod alive. Code DADS. You guys are awesome. You've been really supportive. We made it through 40 episodes, which is pretty incredible because we should have been dead by now. And we've actually grown. So you guys are fantastic for doing this. With that all being said, CJ, what would you say is the last word?
My cousin Finny.